right, welcome in, guys. So we did the shack tours. I did my shack a while ago, and I was trolling Facebook, and John over here popped up. Or was it you?
Yeah.
I was talking about coming out here to the local radio club and working these 13 colonies. So here we are. So I said, hey, can you give us a tour? I said, absolutely.
Kilowatt 4.
So here we are. So there's been a lot of people in there. How many? Is there about 8 guys here?
8 people at one point in time. A couple of them outside. So
yeah, they're taking a break.
Yep.
They, I don't know, wanted by somebody that can't have pictures taken. I don't know. They don't show up in them. They don't show up in mirrors, things of that nature. But John, introduce yourself.
Well, hello. I'm John Gendron, NJ4Z. I'm the vice president here at the York County Amateur Radio Society Club, York County, South Carolina, YCARS for short. And I've been a member for three and a half years now. I'm an extra class operator, and welcome to our shack.
Okay, so John, we trolled around. It's been probably, I think I told you, close to, it hadn't been 15 years. It's probably been 13 years since I've been out here.
Yeah.
I was a member way back, and we won't go into that, but
Kilowatt 4.
we got some fresh
Yankee
paint.
Tango
We got
Zulu.
the layout. We got radios. We got a lot of radios.
Yep.
You got activity.
Yes, sir.
And not just at club meetings, because this is a
Kilowatt 4, Yankee
random
Tango
Tuesday,
Zulu.
July the 2nd.
Yep. Random Tuesday.
It's hot as balls.
It's a little warm. We have instituted a first Thursday of the month meeting now, and we do operating night. So we have everybody come in, whether you're a new operator or old guy. It's kind of a mentoring Elmer. Yeah, so we do. Yeah, we've got a bunch of Elmer. Oh, you got the Great Britain station? Congratulations. So so
73.
we do an Elmering program here, and we call it our operating fun night. So you might have a group back here operating with new guys, getting them on HF that are technicians, teaching the ropes. Guys learning CW. We may have guys out in our meeting room. They may be building antennas, building keyers, whatever. So it's just a night for everybody to come together. No business is conducted. It's just about fun. It's about operating and fellowship. So we have operating fun night first Thursday. We have business meeting second Thursday. Every other third Thursday is Aries, and every fourth Thursday, with the exception of November, December, is our program night. Yeah,
That's a lot of activity.
Yep. Yeah,
that's good. You got a great facility. There's not many clubs that has. This is their own building.
Yep.
It's we measured out about a 30 by 50
in the meeting room here, and then we're probably another 20 feet here, maybe 15 feet here. So,
which is separated out, so you can still have. We used to do field day out here, which worked out great. You have everybody fellowshipping and doing eating out there, and the real guys back here running radio. So it's a great setup. It's a great facility for that.
We're very proud of it.
2 towers. What do you got on the towers?
Towers, we have a Mosley TL, 36, which is a tri-bander, 15, 20, and 10. And then on the other end, we have a 2-element 40 meter. I'm not sure the make on that. We also have a 2 meter 440. I think it's a 17-foot vertical on top of that 40 meter tower out there. And then we also have a push-up mast, which we're working on right now. It's an old military tow behind that we've got another 2 meter on. So that's basically, we've got a couple other wire antennas. We've got an 80 meter loop and a 40 meter loop, and then we have a long wire out here, and soon to come a new vertical. So we're working on that now.
That sounds like a lot. It is a lot. And you look at the property, and it doesn't look quite that big. I pulled in. And like I said, it's been a while since they had a loop going through it. I'm like, how am I supposed to get in here? I got a Tar Heel antenna on the back of my truck, dual band on the top. And I said, hang on, let me lower all this stuff. Said, I hope they're not using this antenna when I drive up under it, because that's going to be exciting real quick.
Now that 80 meters got to go up a little bit.
A little bit higher. Yeah, that might help out. It is flagged off. So
yeah, it is flagged off. And
won't decapitate the people cutting the grass.
No, definitely. we had to come down in a storm, and it quite hasn't gone all the way back up yet.
I understand. But you got a lot in here. It's and I commend you for using the space that you have.
Yep.
So that's really good.
Yep, we
and you still have places to park for club meetings.
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you what, since we've had a little more activity in the club, it's been picking up. And we've had a couple of club meetings where we've struggled to find parking out here.
That's a good problem.
Yeah, we had 30, 35 people in here for a club meeting, and that's pretty good. So, parking gets a little tight. But since we've got the new radios, last year we did a radio project. We raised funds and donations to get radios in here because the club was a little radio poor. And we were able to secure enough funding to get a 7300 and from ICOM and a FDDX 3000 and some accessories to go along with it. And we've had some nice donations. A couple of folks donated some PCs and some monitors. So right now we have basically 4 full-time operating positions for HF, and we have 1 for VHF, UHF, and if you count the 857 back there, we have 2 VHF, UHF, and part-time HF. So we've got pretty good setup here, and then we also are hosting a WireX node for one of our club members who has a System Fusion repeater. It's on the SC Hart Tower in Southern Rock Hill, and so he's backhauling that traffic here to go on the internet because they don't have internet access at the tower.
Well, good. I like it. Using your resources. I'm always a big fan about that. Use what you got.
Yep.
Make something work until you can work up and get what you had your heart set to get.
Exactly. And,
that's part of the hobby.
Well, that's it.
Do, right?
You build and you build and you build, right?
That's
it's
right.
a never-ending acquisition of material and equipment.
Tell me, while we're here talking,
Yep.
tell me what got you in the hobby, because you're relatively new.
Yeah. So I've been around radios and electronics most of my life. I'm an electrical engineer by education, but when I was a kid,
In Southern, by the grace of God.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Ohio, but
Jesus Christ.
yeah, I've been down here for almost 30 years, so I consider myself a South Carolinian now. I live longer here than I did up there.
It is the greater state.
It is the greater state, exactly. So when I was younger, my dad used to give me a hard time because I would take apart anything he gave me. So it didn't matter whether it was a brand new toy or a piece of trash that he picked up at work. I took it apart to find out how it worked.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah, I learned a lot, and I learned that when things are energized, don't put both fingers on them. But so my dad, we grew up pretty poor, but Dad was into CB for a bit. My uncle his younger brother lived in Quebec, Canada, was a ham operator. And so as I got older and we moved more and more trips to Canada, I got more involved with the radio part with my uncle. And I remember when I was 7 or 8 years old, maybe 9, Dad gave me somebody had given him a pair of CB walkie-talkies. And Dad would get about 2 blocks from the house on the way home and
They were
call.
Archer.
They were your Fannin or Archer. They were one of the two.
I had the Archer.
Yeah. And Dad would call and, I'd hear him, Johnny boy, this is
Holding my
Frenchie.
shoe up.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had the Morse code key on it. Did it have that?
No, that one didn't have the
Mine
Morse
had
code
that.
on it. Yeah.
I didn't know what it did. It just beeped when I hit it.
Yep. But so, that kind of lit the fuse. And then after my dad passed, I went up to visit my uncle, and he sat down with me. He's like, "You really like this hobby? Come out here and try this." So I went down to his shack in his basement, and we tried playing around with it a little bit. And I was like, "Man, this is pretty fun." So I came back, got my license, went up, and I was still a technician. Went back up to visit him next summer, and he got me on HF. And let me tell you something, the hook was set. I came back general extra within 5 or 6 months, just boom, boom, and I've been with it ever since. And he's passed now. He passed in April of 2018, but he said after he got me hooked, he said I bled RF, and I'll have to agree with him. I do.
That's a good story. That's really good. I always find it interesting how people met and what gets them in the hobby.
Yep.
And some of it's a little weird, but a lot of it's very similar.
Yep.
That type thing. So that's interesting stuff. That's good.
Yeah. Well, the beauty of it is you can sit down with a fellow ham, and you may not know him, but you have this in common, right? You have this hobby. No matter what aspect you are, you have the hobby in common.
Well, people ask me, it's like, well, what do you guys talk about? It's like, well, we're already there because there's a common interest.
Yep.
So you can find other common interests. The weather, you're going to tell them about that, and just some general stuff, and then you'll find things.
Yep.
And I'm not one to sit there and call DX CQDX, I'm not really wanting to do that. I'll call CQ and whoever comes back, we'll end up just talking.
Yep.
And you find out a bunch. I carried on a guy, he was in, there was S57N. And we just started talking. We carried on a 25-minute conversation.
Okay,
and all the other guys on 40 meters are getting ticked off. I'm like, hey, we want to work him. I'm like, you've probably already worked him. He's got 100,000 lookups on QRZ. And I always like doing that. I mean,
well, that's some of the coolest contacts I've made, other than my favorite one was with my uncle. We had one contact before he passed because he was suffering with cancer after I got my license. So, but there was a gentleman, and I cannot remember his call, forgive me. He was 89 years old, a World War II vet. And, you hear that frail voice come out of the, out of the ether and says, whatever his call was. And I came right back to him, and I sat there and talked with him for about 30 minutes. And he was telling me about, he lost his wife, and telling me about his experience in World War II. And I thanked him for his service. And he was telling about his kids and everything else. It was the best conversation I think I've ever had on the radio. And I had a guy come up right after that when he's 73, and another guy came in. And he said, that was really cool. You took the time to talk to that guy. And I was like, if he's going to sit there and share his life with me, the least I can do is sit there and listen.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, I find there's something about the hobby that is interesting to everybody. Whatever it is. If you're a DXer, okay, go work DX. If you just like talking to people, you can react to. If you like building stuff, you can do that. QRP. There's so many parts of the hobby. Now with the digital modes, that's getting a whole bunch of different excitement. That's even getting some old-timers excited.
Yep.
Especially right now, sunspot numbers are down. Bands suck. But you can generally find somebody on FT8.
Yep.
It's pretty much FT8. I mean.
Yeah, there's nobody doing PSK 31 or
FT8 was pretty much
JT 69 or whatever it was, JT 9.
Well, the only 160, the lower bands.
Yeah.
Some of that, but yeah. And now with FT4 getting ready to be the full release, FT8, I don't think it's going to go away, but you got some great radios. You got some newer radios.
We did get a $9.90 donation from a gentleman earlier this year. He's moving to Florida. Was very generous with us. Just said, hey, either give it to a ham, or if the club can use it, please keep it. And so and it's been a great radio for us. So we're blessed to have it. And we've got some really generous folks. And
that was a killer radio back in the
day. Yeah, top of the line. So yeah, it's good stuff, and it still works great.
So, John, how many contests do you guys do out here, or special events, or?
Yeah, so out here at the clubhouse, we do Winter Field Day. We ran the... This
is excellent for that.
Yeah, and the only problem we have is the antennas being a little close. We get a little interference, but we've been working on eliminating that. We worked the CQ Worldwide WPX contest. We had a couple guys out here running that. We are going to probably run the CQ Worldwide contest in the fall. We were looking at doing, there was a date conflict, I think, for me on one of them we were going to set up. I'm the contesting director, and we had two others scheduled, and I had work commitments, so I couldn't do them. But we run usually typically 5 out of here, and then field day we do away, obviously.
I like people that get out in the field to do that. That's the essence.
And we've got a pretty good POTA crew here that we get out and do POTA activation.
Yeah, Steve back here.
Steve does a bunch of POTA, and we did a club POTA, and we're going to do more of that. We think it's kind of a way to get out, get more people involved, that kind of stuff. So between the contests here in POTA and field day, I mean, we're probably doing 8 or 9 competitions a year.
That's good. Yeah, that's busy. I like it. Stay on the air, stay active.
Well, that's the only way you keep people engaged. You can only do so much with meetings and those kind of things. The educational things with the program's great, but getting people here and operating and on the air, that's the important thing.
And if you got somebody new, if you got something going on, or somebody might be interested, we'll come out on this day. We're doing this. So as long as you got that going, it's really good.
Yep.
So you got a great place. It's a great room, great facility. It's just missing one thing.
What's that?
We need some wall of arrogance.
Yeah, we're working on that as part of 13 colonies. We're getting our 13 colony certificate. That's what these guys are working on behind me. And we're working on DXCC for here, and a few others worked all states. But
you would think this club's been around 50 some odd, 60 years.
7 years, 1948.
So you would think by now they would have DXCC, but I don't think anybody ever did anything about it.
Now we do have some wall stuff, but it's not up right now. We repainted the place, so
I didn't even have to explain the wall of arrogance to you.
no, I have one. I have one.
So for those of you that don't know, the wall of arrogance is the wall you hang all your awards on.
Whiskey
Yep.
for
I nicked
November,
that
Whiskey Charlie.
that phrase from Morgan KB4GFJ.
Is that where that
That's
came
what
from?
he called it.
Yeah,
Either
the
him
wall
or
of
Mark.
yeah.
But he says that it just has. It's got this ring to it.
Yeah,
I don't
the
know
wall
what
of arrogance.
The wall of arrogance.
Yeah. That's great. I
Let
love
that
that.
S ride out.
Yep.
So I've turned. I got a room of arrogance.
Yeah, I've got a little wall. I've got a lot of stuff up in my shack. So I've got a lot of memorabilia and things up on the wall that are slowly coming down, being replaced by certificates.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what.
That's it. You know,
We
it's,
spent all this money all this time. What do we get out of a plaque and a piece of paper?
yeah, worked all states, you know, DXCC, those kind of things.
But hey, like I said, we're all a geek about something. Whatever gets you
Absolutely.
off, do it.
Yeah,
Have fun.
absolutely.
Whiskey
Yeah.
for November.
The one of the
Whiskey
cool one I got
Charlie.
is the Rare Ones in New Orleans. It's a group of guys
I
down
haven't
there.
even heard of that.
They
one.
were doing a net for 150th anniversary for New Orleans, or 200th anniversary, whatever it was. And they had 9 stations, and if you worked all 9, you get this nice little certificate. And they had a 10th guy come in, and then you were a lifetime achievement. So I have both of those, believe it or not.
I mean, you don't even have to work them again.
No. I check in with them every once in a while, just say hello, because they're pretty cool guys. Yeah, it's funny, and I've got a little bulletin board with the QSO card, QSL cards, and I was talking to a guy down in Puerto Rico, WP3R, and he worked at Arecibo, and so I've got his card up on the center, and I hadn't worked on my new call, so
So you got to go work all these
so
guys.
I gotta work these guys. So I'm working. I haven't merged my logbook of the world from the old call, new call,
You gotta do
because
that.
I want to do DXCC on both calls and then merge them back together.
Oh my gosh! So you want double DXCC? That's
Yes,
what you
that's
want.
it.
Oh god,
I'm at 95 right now. I'm getting close.
it's getting close.
Yeah.
Most all the DXpeditions that are work, I will pay you the $5 to
Yep.
get the card because they always have really cool cards.
Do the same thing.
And especially when K1N, I mean, number 2 for the most wanted. When I got them, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
give me that one.
Yeah, any of the new countries I work, or if it's a special event for a country and I think it's cool, or the DXpeditions, I go ahead and get the cards. Yeah.
John,
Thank you very much, Brett. Good to see
thanks for
you.
letting us come out.
And
Enjoyed it.
glad to have
Still
you here.
looks good. Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. We
Yep.
appreciate it. And I guess probably we got to go over to your shack now.
Yep. As soon as I get it cleaned up, we'll get over to my shack. I got to get a bunch of stuff out of the way. We
Yeah,
feel
I
they
know
kind of trashed it.
I
So,
know what that means.
yep.
Your wife gonna be okay with that?
Yeah, she's fine with that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
See ya.